Okay. There we have it. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Back to my channel because I streamed a little while earlier, but I decided why not come on live and paint some doll heads. Excuse me if there's anything banging. It was raining earlier. We have a lot of trees and such, and I guess stuff is falling. I don't know. Anyways, I am going to be 3D printing. I'm going to be painting some of my 3D printed doll heads. So if you don't know who this is a Japanese exclusive midge doll. She was released in 1964 to 65, only for 1 year, exclusively for the Japanese market. I made a replica sculpt of her head, and I have been selling them. I've been keeping some for my personal collection and then selling some. Yes, to fuel my 3D printing hobby as well as just my general doll hobby. But yeah, I really love how I sculpted her face. I did it digitally on a app for iPad. I think just a mobile app in general, called Nomad Sculpt. I did it in that, and then I did several rounds of prototyping until I got it to this stage that I really like. So yeah, she's finished. So I'm just gonna be painting some. I'm going to need to get a reference up for her in a minute, but basically, sorry, this is like a early prototype. This is essentially what I'm going for. This one's a little busted. I tried doing a method of sealing her hair. It didn't work out that well, and she's kind of like ruined because of that. She was just a prototype anyways. She is airbrushed. These have a more peachy color complexion comparatively, but yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, kind of like this, but a little bit better looking than that. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. Excuse me, it's been a while since I have fired up a little painting live stream, but I wanted to try and see if I can do it again, because I did enjoy doing them. I want to try and do them more, but you know what, sometimes life gets in the way. So I'm gonna try and get myself comfortable here and move myself upward, and then I'm going to need to get a reference for my paint work. Oh, sorry, I was watching I was watching a YouTube video earlier from Disney Barbie Girl. It was her restoring a Jessie doll. So that's what that popped up there. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. I do not know what I have saved on there. So let's see, Japanese. No, new Japanese midge, that's what she's called. New Japanese midge doll. There we go. And if you don't know what a new Japanese midge doll looks like, this is what she looks like. This one's head is super duper squished. I don't know what's going on with this one's head. Some of them have like different varying levels of like, hello Devi Sevit. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Davy. Hello Davy. Hope you're doing well. This is kind of what I was going for, more of the slender look to the face. Like that. So it looks pretty close. I just need to do the paint work and then she'll kind of resemble her more. But I do have one that I sold. It's in the kitchen at the moment. I don't have it on me, but yeah, I've been using this one reference photo, if I can find her, because it's a really good reference photo. I love how her face looks. And I've used it for every one of my repaints because it just hits every time. So yeah, if I can find it. Where is she at? I think she's down here. Right here. This is the one that I use. Isn't she gorgeous? Look at how gorgeous she is. I want to get this style of wig. It is a I believe it's a side part American Girl, vintage American Girl wig is what they call it, for a fashion queen. I want to get this wig so bad. I have 2 fashion queen wigs. original ones, and I'm thinking about removing the hair from one of them, whichever one I like the least, and just like rerouting it to look like that. Either that or getting a reproduction. I don't know. Are the reproductions any cheaper than the originals? Probably not, but at least it'll be newer hair fiber and maybe better quality. But yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be going for. So what I usually start off with when painting these dolls, let me try and get the, can I zoom in? Yeah, I can zoom in. What I usually start off with when painting these dolls is the whites of the eyes to kind of get, just like lay a foundation. Kind of like, it's kind of like, what's the saying? Sometimes you just have to like scribble on a piece of paper so you don't have a blank canvas, and that's kind of what I feel when I see the whites of the eyes. It kind of gives me an idea. It makes me a little less intimidated. It also serves as a good warm-up, so yeah. I have two different paper towels here. Anyways, I'm just going to be using some white paint from Apple Barrel. I love Apple Barrel. This is a white finish. Not a white finish, a matte finish, excuse me. Of course the finish is white. It's a white paint, but yeah. No, it's matte, which I prefer. I really hate glossy paint, I'm not gonna lie. I have one glossy paint with me that I use for this. I hate it. I hate it with a burning passion. It clumps up, it dries fast. It just does not work well in like a practical way. I don't know. The color's really pretty, but like practicality speaking wise, I don't know how to word that, but yeah, it just doesn't work that well for me. But color's pretty, so I use it. Anyways, thankfully she has a kind of set in stone sculpting, or gives me a pretty good idea of where to lay the paint, so that's good. And I do it in layers, so I will seriously water down my paint to the point where it's just like a liquidy, a slightly tinted water. That way it kind of prevents brush strokes from like building up super quickly. You can get really gloppy if you don't do it this way, I've noticed, so. Okay. Her eyes are looking a little teeny right now, but it's better to go teenier and then build it up to a bigger form or shape or whatever than it is to go big straight away, because I have gotten myself in trouble doing that. It's just kind of roughing out the shape there. Get some more water. I don't know what size of brush. This is a 3/0 brush. I don't know what that means, but it's a pretty fine point, so I've been trying to switch to using this because it has a finer point than my other one. It's just very finicky to use because I'm so used to holding my other one. This one's super long in comparison. So yeah. Okay, let me look at the other eye. I've noticed that the doll's right eye tends to be smaller than the left one. The doll's left, so I'm gonna try not deviate too much from that because I want them to be kind of like more replica looking, a little bit closer to the original than other more original paints that I do, or like inspired paints I do. I want these to be as close as I can get them to the original. Water down my paint a little bit more. I do not know what keeps hitting the roof. Limbs or something. Hope everyone has been having a good, what day is it today? Like weekend so far? Been having a pretty decent weekend. Been trying to get some stuff printed, stuff listed on eBay to sell. these being some of them. Oh, a little heart emoji flickered in the corner there. It startled me. Don't know what that means, but yeah. I've noticed the matte paint tends to dry faster too, which is great for me because I am very impatient. I hate waiting for the paint to dry between coats. Really despise it. I have been working in the background on this for a few months or so, for a while. It is a giant replica, it's more of a, like, it's slightly replica-ish, Wild Child's Pink doll. She is 21 inches tall. She is ginormous. I did not mean to make her that big when I first was printing her head, and since I had a ginormous ping head just laying around, I thought, why not make a body? So, well, I used a pre-existing body, but because I actually do have her body sculpted, it is just not articulated yet, and I have not had motivation to even attempt to articulate that thing and test print it and stuff like that. So I have given that task to someone else, and they are hopefully going to be articulating it for me, and I will have a fully articulated replica ping doll that I can do with what I will, you know, do what I want with. And then when that happens, then I'll probably make like a giant one with the proper body, with the proper proportions and what have you. But until then, she is on a giant G3 Monster High body that I 3D printed. I got a scan off of, what is it, Colts 3D? Which was very handy, but I will say the scan, I don't know. The joints were not jointing the way I wanted them to. And I ended up having to glue some of her joints together and give her less articulation because it was not viable with that scan. The scan in its raw downloaded and just printing off form, I have to edit it, sadly. Which kind of defeats the purpose of why I wanted the scan, but you know what? C'est la vie. Can't have everything the way we want it, so. Trying to drop this eye down a little bit more. I'm gonna try and get them all done on live. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I at least want to do the faces. The hair is a little bit less interesting since I'm just blocking in solid color, but I think the faces would be fun to look at being painted. Dab a little bit more paint here, and then I think I'll work on something else. Just to not overload the eyes and get the paint dripping everywhere. And yeah, I've had that happen way too many times to keep track of. Anyways, I think I'm gonna move on to the blue eyeshadow next. Trying to see which. Yeah, I think I do the whites of the eyes, then I do the blue shadow. Then I do the what is it, irises. Then I do the brows. And then I do the lips and nose last. So let me do it that way. Some water on my brush. And they all are supposed to look somewhat uniform, but they end up looking different in the end anyways, because they're obviously hand painted and mixed and stuff like that. So I don't try super hard to get the colors exactly the same, just vaguely in the same ballpark, you know. Even now I might actually darken this shadow up a little bit down the line, but for right now she shall do. Okay, let's see, the eyeshadow goes. That's one thing I love about vintage Barbie sculpts is it has a very clear way it's supposed to be painted. Like it has like built-in guidelines, so it does help when making replicas and such like that, when painting or like doing repair work and such. So it's kind of hard to mess up a vintage Barbie face up. At least for certain like parts like the eyeshadow and stuff like that, and the eyes. I feel like they're kind of simplistic, so at least for me, someone that does like replica or like one of a kind Monster High dolls, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a break, if you will, by doing like easier projects like this, like vintage repaints and such. So I'm trying to get it positioned where I won't be. Okay. Go. There we go. So I ended up posting this Barbie, well, Midge, in fact, it's Midge, but ended up posting this Midge doll in a Barbie group, and I got a lot of good reception from it, and I'm happy about that. That people really liked her. It was a prototype of this doll. It wasn't this specific one. It was a fully airbrushed one with like airbrush skin and everything like that, and she looked really good. But these are closer to what I wanted them to look like, with the pre-mixed resin skin. That way it's easier for me to get them out and such, than having to airbrush each individual one. But if I had to, I would have done that, but I didn't feel like doing it because I had the resources to not do so. But I got a lot of good reception, and I actually, a man reached out to me and he commissioned me to do 2 hits. He said it was like one of his dream dolls to own, and I was really grateful that was able to kind of like help him fulfill a like one of his dream dolls, having one, owning one, at least a approximation to one. Um, it was really I can't wait for him to receive them. I think he'll probably be receiving them the 29th or so. I forget. It might have been today. They might have been out for delivery today. I could be wrong, but I think the 29th because today's Saturday. I don't know. But I'm glad that he was able to get those. He got I did a typical one like I showed where she would have had brown hair. That's the color that she came in originally. The only color she ever came in, brown hair, brown eyes. And then he asked me to do the second one in a blonde color. Oh my god, the blonde color was so pretty. The blonde one was my favorite. Even the face, I think I just got better at doing the face in between doing that. So the first one just didn't look. He said it was gorgeous. He loved both of them, but I'm a bit picky of my own work, so I don't know. I have clear cut favorites. So she was cute, but definitely not one of my faves. I'm just slowly building up this blue, by the way, just to make sure it's a nice even coat. So I can try to not have to go back and build it up later with a newly mixed paint. Let me just make sure that I'm pulling this down far enough. I have a tendency to not do that. But yeah, I got my Bratzilla's Cafe Zaps earlier, just a little while ago. I did a live stream opening it up. Was really pleased with what I got in there. And I did look it up afterward, and it is complete as far as I can tell. Unless it has a hidden accessory that I don't know about, but from the stock images and everything, it seems to have everything, so I'm very grateful. I got it for a steal. I think I ended up paying $40 flat, including shipping and everything. 40, 44, somewhere around there, but it was under 50, and oof. I don't think that playset is necessarily like super sought after. Like, I don't think people go out of their way to own it, but I was. And some people were asking like an arm and a leg for it incomplete and stuff, like $80 to $100, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving you that. Maybe complete, you know, I would have given 80, but the fact that I was able to find that listing with like some other pieces included for like under $50, I had to have that, so I just bought that instantly. But yeah, that's just me rambling, but I am really pleased. I do want to let me get some of this blue off of there. I do want to do box openings of my upcoming purchases that I purchased and that are coming, but they don't have a clear-cut window of when they're coming. Well, they have like kind of a window, but it's not. I don't know if they'll come like within that window or at towards the end of that time frame that they gave me, but I should be box opening a lot of things like at least like in early July. Doing some live streams on that. I hope that they all just come in one fell swoop and I can just get it done and within like one live stream or video. I do enjoy doing the live streams. It doesn't take up storage, so I really like it. I really like doing it that way, but just building up that white a little bit. Do I need to bring that? I could probably bring this. I'm really scared like I'm gonna mess this up. Pulling it down any further, but I'm gonna try. Bring it down just a teeny bit more. There we go. Okay. Bit of a perfectionist, so when something doesn't go my way, I get a little bit ticked off, and I just don't like the piece at the end because it didn't go according to my plan at all, which can be a bit distressing, but you know what? I try and make do, so. Alright, next up, I should be doing the eyebrows. I think I'm going to block out the eyebrows, and I should have my PDF right here. Now the eyebrows, they usually go or a hit or a miss the first attempt. I try and get them down within the first attempt or two because this resin can stain and I don't want to have to resand and reseal and it just gets shiny after a while and I don't want to go through all of that, so put this paper towel up here. I don't need that. Okay, do I want to? Yeah, I'm going to block it out with this color straight up first. Okay, her brow is about in this position. It goes straight across. Like so. Let me do it like this. And then I do it like that. Turn it around and pray. Okay, we've got a good base there. Now we just have to start refining it. And let's see, I think I need to bring this one up. Up a bit. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna have to go over that with another color anyway, so I'm not gonna try too hard to get them perfect. I'm just gonna block them out. Let's see, I think I need to drop this one down a little bit and then bring this up more. I always try and work off of an actual doll, like reference of the doll for every single repaint I do, if it's a replica. I don't do like a guesstimation of what I'm trying to do, usually. Like I have to have a reference beside me or else I'll like deviate too much. And I don't like doing that if I'm trying to like make something look like how it's supposed to look. So I always encourage people, if they're trying to do replicas, to always have like multiple references up. And also it might sound weird, you know, right after saying that, but sometimes following too closely to it can make it look like less like the thing than if you throw in a little more of your pizzazz. So I kind of look at my reference, I'll note that in my mind, and then I'll look back at this, and then I'll jot down what I think I see, and then I'll look back, you know, if I'm struggling in certain points or it looks a little off, but yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but I don't know. It's me rambling, but yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna, okay, I think what I'm gonna do is drop this down just a teeny. I'm kind of scared to drop that down though. I'm gonna drop it down a little bit, just a teensy bit. Elongate it a little bit, just a titch. Okay, that looks good to me. That looks like a good base we have going on there. Now I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna block out where I want the irises to be. Okay. I've noticed I have more control when I hold it like super close to the end. I don't like doing it like this, like some people do. I like holding it more like this. To each their own. Okay, let's water down this a little bit. Okay, we have it. Does her eye need to be, I think her eye, you know what, no, I think I kind of like the smaller eye look for this one. Some of them, they weren't all exactly the same, obviously they were stenciled, and that means basically putting a stencil over top of the face, airbrushing it. So each one had a different placement of the face. Some had bigger eyes, some had more raised brows, lower brows, etc. They all kind of look the same, but not really. Like each one is inherently like different. So, and that's for most dolls. I mean, even modern dolls are basically, you know, they all have their differences face wise. Some more than others, but generally speaking, older dolls were a lot more unique face wise between like, you know, each doll was not the same as what I'm trying to get what I'm saying. So yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a single doll that looks exactly the same as the other one. So I think that's just like an across the board truth. Okay, there we go. Her irises tend to take up a large portion of her sclera. The sclera is what the white part's called. That's what I'm referring to. I don't know why that one word stuck with me so much when I heard it, like sclera. I have a tendency of forgetting words, but for some reason sclera always stuck out to me. I don't know. I love how it's the way it sounds. Sclera. I'm sorry if you cannot see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can or not, but okay, you can. You could see what I'm doing. That's good. Honestly, I'm kind of vibing with this color for the irises. I might just use this color straight up. Okay, she's looking good. I'm actually kind of liking how she's turning out so far. Okay. For her brows, I'm going to block them in just a little bit more with this paint. Okay. Her brows are a little bit thicker than this. I'm going to just... So I recently made a purchase on AliExpress. Well, 3 purchases actually. One I haven't even mentioned what it is, but I did mention for the one of them in particular, getting Kitty K's fierce outfit off of Ali, which that was a holy grail. Owning that outfit. Well, I want the dolls more than like the outfits, but I do want the outfits as well. So if I can get the outfits, I'm gonna get the outfits, you know. But I was really thrilled to be able to like purchase that with basically her full get up, including the headphones. Since those are samples and they were never released, and the whole line got canned, so I'm really thankful that I was able to add that to my collection. Because I do love the Fierce dolls. I actually really love more than the regular OMG, like the big sister dolls. I guess I don't know if that's what they're called, but the LOL OMG dolls. I don't know what it is. It's just their faces are a lot nicer to me. They have a lot more going on, more personality. That's why I really love the where the LOL OM what is it, the LOL OMG like regular dolls are going with the rebranded faces, the rebooted faces, I guess you could say. It has a lot more character and a lot more life to the faces, which I really love. Because the OMG dolls, they have great quality from what I've seen, like clothing wise and stylistically, they're the best in the market right now, in my opinion. Um, those look like a lot of trendy clothes that I see like celebrities and such wearing, so it's very like on point in my opinion. So like seeing them rebrand and like have like better faces, in my opinion, better faces, I'm really happy to see that. Some people don't like the faces, which honestly I can't understand why you don't like the faces. Um, Maybe the molded eyelashes could be like an issue, but I kind of like the idea of molded lashes. It practically speaking, it doesn't seem that nice because I can see the hair getting caught in them really badly, or like it poking a kid or something. I don't know, but I think we'll manage. I think we'll manage, and I'm fine with it. You know. Would I have chosen the molded lashes? Probably not. Do I like them? Yes, I do like them. There's a doll that I'm eyeing on Mercari. It's a Bratzilla's, obviously. It has to be a Bratzilla's, you know what I mean? But It is a Fiona Fins, and I'm really, really trying to keep myself from buying her because that is a lot. It's a lot of money. I'm not even gonna lie. She's a lot of money, and I'm just debating if I want to save up and like get a new inbox one. If I'm gonna dump that much money on it anyway, like she is quite discounted compared to an inbox one, but might as well go all out. You know what I mean? But I feel kind of bad deboxing dolls that I've spent a lot of money on. Like if I've gotten the new unbox, like I know a lot of people say don't feel bad, like they're meant to be deboxed and stuff, but I'm paying the premium price for the inbox is what I mean by that. Like I know I can take it out and it's not gonna be like super duper a travesty. Like I don't even really like inbox dolls. It's just if I'm paying a premium price for an inbox doll, like do I want to take it out? I don't know. I know I did spend like close to 100 on another Bradzola doll, and she was a slightly harder to get one. She's on nowhere near on the level of freaking Back to Magic Megana levels of scarcity. Oh my god, that doll is so scarce, it's scary. Like, they need to make a reproduction of her ASAP, please. That doll is like literally nowhere to be seen. But yeah, her and Fiona Fins, Victoria Antique, they're a little bit more on the harder to get side, you know what I mean? I feel like Fiona Fins is like she's less hard to get, honestly. She's just more expensive. Vampalina, she's just very expensive. I don't really consider her super hard to get. Yeah, basically I think for the Magic Night Out dolls, the hardest that I've seen, the ones that I don't see that often on the market are the the Yasmina Clairvoyant doll. I don't really see her that often on the market. Sasha Bella, I always see Sasha Bella, I don't know. I was able to get Yasmina Clairvoyant for a fairly decent price. I think I paid $7, because I got the doll separately from the dress, but the doll came with her cape, shoes, and earrings. And then I got the dress separately for another price. So I think in total I ended up paying around like $75-ish, give or take. Maybe a little bit less actually. Maybe more around like 65 to 70-ish, 75-ish. Which honestly isn't that bad, in my opinion. Plus she's just like only missing her hat, I think, besides like her odd and end little like globe and her little broomstick and such. I don't really care about all that. I just want the stuff that comes on the doll, but yeah. I think for the brows, I'm gonna leave them for now. I think what I'm gonna do next is probably, I think I want to try and tackle the lips first, actually, before I do the blacks of the liner of the lashes. And then this red, and then this yellow color. Just gonna get some of this yellow. I'm getting kind of low on certain colors of paint, so I'm trying to like ration it. I've been painting a lot though, so that it's bound to happen eventually. Okay, I take some of my pink and then I put a little bit, touch of red in there. Then I take my yellow, and now it's too yellow. Could probably get away with that color, but I just want to make it a little bit more red. And that's a really beautiful shade right there. So I'm gonna try and use this for her lips. We will see how this turns out. I think it'll be cute. Let's see. Okay, I need to be really careful with her lips because they're a certain shape. I do not know how long I'm going to be able to keep doing this for. Because it is taking quite some time to do this one face, but I'm going to try and hold it out as long as I can. Let's see, so the cupid's. Okay. My hands are a little shaky right now. I drank a soda earlier, so yeah, I'm trying to like keep my stability. Okay, I think, and then I can go here. Okay, let's go here. One doll I want to make using this base as a base is a geisha doll. I think it'd be quite appropriate since she's, you know, the Japanese midge. I feel like geisha are like a staple of Japan. Like it's a pretty big part of the history there, or the culture, I should say. I used to be obsessed with geisha. Growing up, I thought that they looked so ethereal. I still do. I still think they look quite ethereal. I think that's the point. You know, it does the job, the makeup and such, and the dances. I love it. I would love to see an actual geisha in real life. Go to Kyoto. I believe they still have a geisha izakaya or something. I think it's called an izakaya. Or like a place in Japan, like in Kyoto, where you can see geisha, an actual performance, not just like little cosplayers and such. Because they do have a lot of like fake, well, I don't know. They have a lot of non-official geisha, I think, like people that dress as geisha. But I don't think there's like a lot of actual proper like geisha left. From what I understand, I could be wrong in that regard, but yeah. Moral, what I'm trying to get across is I want to do a geisha doll using this doll sculpt. I feel like it would work really well, and she'd look super duper beautiful. Okay, super hunched over, like focusing now, trying to get the lips right. This is why I kind of stray away from doing painting videos or painting streams or whatever, because I sometimes get super duper close to the doll trying to get the lines just right, And it can be a bit interesting trying to get that on camera, but yeah. Okay. My paint is drying up now. Hold on, let me mix some really quickly. Some, it's pretty much the same color, yeah. Okay, there we go. Some of it. Might actually change the color a little bit. The one on the photo looks a little bit orangey, but I think it's more of a pink shade. That this is looking way too red, in my opinion. Her lips also look a little bit bigger than that. I think I might increase the size a little bit. I just need to increase them a little bit. Alright, let me do it on this side. Alright, that's a cute lip, I think. It's not exact, but you know what? Neither is it slope, so it's fitting. Let me bring this up. Let me do like a final pass with this color to try and even everything out. Okay. I think that's a pretty color, I think. I think it's a little bit brighter than her original lips. It's fine, it's fine. Let me put this color in her nostrils now before it dries up. Okay, there we go. That's a nice color for the lips and such. I like that. Looks nice. She's almost got like a slightly, what's the word, like an unimpressed look to her. I like that. Should I actually change that a little bit? I think I'm gonna make the tips of her like mouth curl up a little bit more, like she's smiling, because it is a little, her official dolls tend to look that way, so I'm gonna not deviate from that too much. There we go. I think I needed to widen that a little bit. There we go. Just curl that up a little bit. Aw, isn't she sweet? Isn't she sweet? She's smiling. Okay. I'm not worried like too much about getting everything super duper coated, like pigmented and stuff like that, because when I've noticed when I put my sealer on, it almost like melts the colors together and they look a lot more like, what's the word, like flat, like solid. I've noticed. I don't know why that is, but it happens. I don't know. It could just be the shine throwing me off, but anyways, that's her lips. I'm just making sure that I might go underneath of there one more time. I want to make sure they're decently coated. Okay, that's good. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna work on the brows a little bit more, so. Okay. Actually, before I do that, let me do the blacks. That's jet black, don't need that. I am going to just quickly rough out where I need the blacks of the the liner to be, so let me just stretch my arm a little bit. Oops, sorry, it cracked. Mm. Do that. Let's see, that's how her actual thing is, but I'm gonna change it a little bit because it doesn't look good on my sculpt. See here. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I said sorry. I think I was apologizing to the doll for almost messing up her makeup. I would love to. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up a TikTok account and I'm gonna stream on there. Maybe, I don't know. I was thinking about like making one, but also I'm just like not a big TikTok person. I do like it in theory, but I don't know, it's just something about how the algorithm works that I'm just not a fan of, and also the discourse on there seems a little toxic, I'm not gonna lie. I might just be like a boomer, I don't know. An unk. I am very stuck in my Instagram ways. I just love how the algorithm, like, not the algorithm, what's the word I'm looking for, like the layout and stuff on there, I'm very used to it, so I don't know if I want to like fiddle with a bunch of different apps. Okay, I'm just gonna work on this eye now. Okay, let's see where it is. Oh, I need to be careful how I angle my brush. I've been getting paint on the faces with this brush because it's so long and fiddly, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Here we are. Okay, she's turning out cute. I'm actually quite enjoying how she's looking at the moment. I just need to kind of not completely mess it up here. Okay, I want to make more #1 Barbie replicas. I'm in my vintage Barbie era at the moment. I was in my Build Lily era, now I'm in my vintage Barbie era after making this midge. I'm also in my Bretzels era, apparently. Two completely different aesthetics. I wish I had some, like, I don't know, doll people to, what's the word, like to do the dual stream, like stream with me type thing with, to chat and such. I don't know what that feature is called, stream with me or something. Seems fun. I'd like to try that out one day. I've seen a couple, well, I'm sure it's fairly widespread, but I think I've only seen one person in the doll community do that. I don't really follow them anymore. I need to check up and see what they're doing. I'm actually working on another replica sculpt. It's of a Schwabinchen, and a Schwabinchen is the sister of Lily. She's made by the same like comic book creator that made Lily. And then they modeled a doll off of her, and she came out later after I think Mattel bought the rights to Lily, or right before they bought the rights to Lily. She did not do that well at all. She's actually fairly forgotten about, and she's also she's on this list of, what is it, cosmetically challenged dolls. She's considered one of the ugliest vintage dolls. I don't think she's ugly per se. I think that she's just, oh my god, I just ruined the eye makeup. No, with the black. I overloaded my brush with water. That happens. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. Okay. Oh well. I can't win them all. Whatever. I'll just go over the top of that. I usually have to do that anyway, so I'm just trying to get away from doing that, but that's how the cookie crumbles. What was I saying? Oh, right, yeah, Schwabinchen. She is on this list called Cosmetically Challenged Dolls, and it is hilarious. She's not the most aesthetically pleasing when it comes to her body proportions, but I think face-wise she's actually quite nice. She's on par, I'd say, with a lot of vintage dolls. She has a certain charm to her. I think I'm going to turn off my reference now because I've kind of gotten everything jotted down. But yeah, I'm currently making a sculpt of her, like, head, a replica sculpt, and once I do the replica sculpt, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm almost thinking I'm gonna have to make her a body, so I might do like a replica body, but just tweak the arm proportions slightly because the official doll's proportions, oh lord, her arms are so bad, so badly, like they're jutted out. She has super wide shoulders, a super narrow bottom portion, and her arms are super long. It's very funny looking in my opinion, but I do love her hand sculpt, so I'm probably going to be modeling some new arms. Well, not even new arms, just like resizing them to fit within the body a little bit better proportion wise. Oh my, that scared me so bad. Oh my god, I thought something was moving beside me. It was my tablet falling off of where I had it placed. Oh, and there goes a doll. There goes a couple dolls, actually. Oh my lord, that scared me so bad. Okay. Enough of that. Time to... Ooh, that just startled me so badly. Sorry, we have a tendency to have, like, little, like, bugs and such, and every time I hear something, I just think it's a bug, and I don't like bugs that much, so I get a little bit creeped out, so that's why I was, like, kind of being, like, paranoid there for a minute. So I think I'm gonna get a little bit of this white. Okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna get some of my brown color that I still have here. I'm gonna get a little bit of this white, and I'm gonna mix that in. That color works out for us. Okay. Okay. See, once you get the hang of this brush, it's a lot. It gives you a nicer line, so that's why I'm trying to transition to using this brush. It has a finer tip. There we go. Okay, I think her brows look pretty good, actually. I think I'm going to go over her eyes with this lighter brown color, though. Mix in a little bit more of the brown to kind of give it that darker. There we go. Now she's starting to come together. I think I'm just going to finish up this doll and then probably just end the stream. Because, yeah, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. I was going to be speeding through these. I don't even know how long I've been going. I can't see the time I've been going. It's probably been about an hour and a half or so. An hour, hour and a half. The reason I wanted to make these just heads is to keep them in a more affordable range, because if I were to do the full entire doll, it would have been minimum $300. I would have to sell them for minimum $300, and I just don't want to. You're kind of after just like the face, you know what I mean, of the midge, and I just didn't want to have to. I didn't want to charge people $300 for them just to get the midge. I don't know. So that's why I kind of like was like, okay, I'm just gonna do the head. Because somebody had actually asked if I was just going to do the head, and they would buy, you know, that they were interested in purchasing if it was just the head. So that's kind of what made me want to veer more into the direction of the head thing, because, you know, there's a lot of vintage Barbie bodies laying around. People have extras if they're a Barbie collector, vintage especially, but do I like the darker brow? I think I like the darker brow. It's nice. Somebody is watching, what is it, Wuthering Heights? Or is it Wuthering Heights? I think it's Wuthering Heights. Yeah, Wuthering Heights, not Withering. In the living room. That's my grandmother's favorite movie. That's probably what she probably has that on. Okay, I need to, let's see. For the eyes, I need to dot the pupil. I need to make the pupils usually I try to make them a little bit bigger than what they originally were. I don't know. I just think it looks better on my doll. You know, it's my doll. I try to make it look how I would want my Midge to look anyway. So I think about like that maybe. A little bit bigger. About like that. That's good. There we go. I think I'll make that up a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to like that. Boop. Okay, there we go. I might have to fix the glue on that, so. For the white, I'll just grab a bunch of paint on my brush now. I think the white was on this side. Yeah, this side. I think, yeah. I'm just gonna wing it and say it's on. I don't know. Do I do it on? I'm gonna do it on this side, actually. No. I'm gonna just look at the reference real quick, cause now okay, on the other side. Okay. Okay, I was right. Do it on this side. I've painted this face several times and I still don't know where the shine is. Do it right here. So, boop, boop. Okay, there we go. There we have it. And as you can see, she actually is probably my closest one I've done yet to the actual look, in all honesty. I think it's the lips. I did the lips differently and did them a little bit lower down and plumper. And I also did the eyes a little bit smaller. But some of them had bigger eyes anyways. But I really like how I did this doll's look, so I'm probably gonna not tweak it too much besides the blue on the eyelid. Or the eyeshadow. Yeah, eyelid. And then, actually I think I'm gonna go in on the eyebrow a little bit more, and there's a little section that I didn't paint that well. Like so. Yeah, I really love how her face turned out, actually. There we go. So I think I'm going to end it here. That's how her face turned out. I'm going to blush her. I'm going to fix up her blue eyeshadow a little bit. Blush her, and then obviously paint the hair and such. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The face overall is done, besides tweaking it and refining it and stuff like that. But anyways, thanks for watching, anybody that tuned in. If you liked the stream, I'm glad, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.